All right, this is for lab 3.2 and it's called triangles from angles. So again, this is lab 3.2, triangles from angles. So in class, we learned how to construct angles, and then we actually did a little bit faster way where we just kind of traced the angle to see. But what we're going to do is we're going to try to figure out if when I combine two of these angles, and here's the chart that we made in class, you're going to want this chart in your notebook, and then you'll fill it in as you watch me manipulate the angles. We want to see if they will create a triangle or not. So we started by copying angle 1, so I just traced over it. And then I spun it around so that I could, be able to slide it into all of these other angles. So when I slide that over, as you can see, it does in fact make a triangle that closes. So it is possible with a combination of angle 1 and angle 2. Do it again for angle 3. If I move that angle over and then slide it, it does in fact, again, create a triangle. Try it again with angle 4. It makes an itty bitty triangle, but it does in fact make a triangle. And then try it again with angle 5. And again, it makes a triangle. So angle 1 ended up working with all of the options. Moving on to angle 2. We've already tried angle 2 with angle 1, so we skipped that part of the chart. We didn't need to put that in. So now we're going to try angle 2 with angle 3. So I slide it over. Yes, it does make a triangle, so we're good to go. Angle 4, we slide that over. Ooh, this one doesn't. As you can see, it never closes the triangle, so that one's actually a no. And then angle 2 with angle 5, slide it over. It does make a triangle. And we did all of this in class. People were tracing and figuring out themselves. Because you're at home, you have to just kind of watch like this. But it's the best we can do. So angle 3, again, flip that over. I'm going to test it with angle 5 first. Okay, so with angle 5, it didn't work. Now, the reason I tested it with angle 5 first is because angle 4 is wider than angle 5. So if it didn't work with angle 5, I don't even have to test it with angle 4. I know it's not going to work with angle 4 either. And then the last one I need to try is angle 4 and angle 5 together. And as you can see, that one is also a no. So that is the chart that needs to get filled in for the first part of lab 3.2. And then for the second part were these two discussion questions. We had a lot of really great conversation in class about this, but if you're given 3 angles, is it usually possible to construct a triangle? So we actually tested this. We drew 3 random angles and we tried to put it together. People at first thought like, yeah, I can do that. But then once they realized you actually have to hit 180 exactly in order for that to work, we came up with the following statement that no, you'd have to be pretty lucky or pre-plan for those 3 angles to make a triangle because they all have to add to 180. It's much easier if you just have 2 random angles and try to make a triangle out of it than having 3 random angles. And then for letter B, what must be true of 2 angles to make it possible to construct a triangle? Again, we had a lot of really great conversation. Everybody said, well, if there are 2 acute angles, it's really easy to fit them together, like angle 1 and angle 2. But we eventually realized that for it to work, one of the angles must always be acute. And together they have to be less than 180 because to make room for a third angle, you need to be able to add to 180. So the 2 angles need to be less than 180, to make room for that third one. So that is the lab in a nutshell. If you have all of this down, you'll at least get credit for the lab and participation even though you were not here. I hope you have a great day and I will see you later.